Uh, Good morning. Um, so, with these, I sort of try not to think too hard about them before I record them, because I have a rough idea of the kind of material that I want to cover, but it's easy to go down side paths. So, I don't want to talk too much about words and language and information compression at this point, because what I really wanted to focus on is evolution and understanding humans. The reason I brought up language is really just because I think if you can get your head around the idea that language is the key difference between us and other animals, then it's easier to see us as another animal. Whereas a lot of people get sort of sidetracked or kind of confused by how different we seem to be. You know, look at me, I'm wearing clothes, I've got glasses, I'm in a house that's been built. Like, other animals don't make and create stuff like we do. But if you think about a human baby and how vulnerable a human baby is, and if you could do the experiment where you dropped it like Mowgli in the jungle, and the baby was raised by wolves, the baby would be much more like a wolf than a human. It would not probably get as far as fire. Like, there's no way it would probably work out how to use fire, I don't think. I mean, maybe now, because we're obviously descended from monkeys and are not scared of fire, so it wouldn't have the instinctive fear of fire that most animals have. But it's unlikely that it would get even as far as that first critical step in human development, and so it would behave very much like any other animal in the jungle. So most of what we think makes us special as humans is actually culture that we absorb from other humans, and we learn how to speak, and we learn how to use our hands to make things. It's a bit complicated to think about it, because we've obviously developed from people. We've got a lot of skills now that have been part of our evolution. And so we're descended from the people that were very capable at doing those things, so we have the capacity to do those things. But if you're going to think that humans arrived on the planet by some other mechanism, that they didn't evolve from the existing species that lived here, you've got to come up with some quite supernatural explanation that doesn't really fit with our understanding of the universe. So you either have to think we were dropped here by an alien spaceship, if you're kind of a technical bent, or or that we were created by some sort of supernatural being, and a lot of people believe that, but I don't personally think it's a very accurate understanding of what we are, and I think it doesn't help us if our understanding of what we are is mismatched with actual historical reality. I sometimes think about it like, if you've got a murder and there's a body, there's a physical chain of events that led to that dead body lying there, and the police use whatever clues they can to try and reconstruct the actual series of events that led to that person being dead in that location. And I think if you think about humans, you've kind of got to use the same process. Like, we're clearly here, we clearly exist. Some physical chain of events led to our existence, and you can go, well, obviously my parents had sex, and this dad's sperm met my mother's egg, and that created me, and my mother gave birth to me, and here I am. And you can keep taking that back and taking that back, two people having sex. But what's at the beginning of that process? And I guess some people think Adam and Eve, God created two humans that look very much like us, and they had sex, and here we are, the human population. But it's not a very satisfactory explanation. Whereas evolution makes a lot more sense. It seems a much better explanation for the physical world that we live in, and all of the there's very little data against it at this point. And also, if you think that complex multicellular systems like us are a collection of single-celled organisms, again, it gives you that are cooperating to build humans. So basically, we're a collection of cells that cooperate to make a person. It just gives you a lot better understanding of how the body works, how our brains work, how we interact with our microbiome. There's so many things that it explains. Anyway, I didn't really want to evangelize for evolution. I just wanted to make the point that there is a historical chain of events that led to humans existing. And so whatever your belief system, you do have to find some way to explain why we exist in the form that we're currently in. And for me personally, evolution provides the best framework for thinking about that. And I've talked about having a predictive model of the world. I think if you have an accurate understanding of what you are and a model that's as close to reality as possible, then it allows you to make better predictions about how you will behave in certain situations and how other people will behave in certain situations. And those, being able to predict your own behaviour and other people's behaviour more accurately gives you an edge in the competition that is life. And I might expound on that a little bit tomorrow. I've doubled my time today, so I hope you've managed to stay with me. Thank you.